the full story on why I got into nootropics and how it all worked. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan. I am your nootropics information wizard, and you are watching the biggest nootropics channel on the web. Thanks so much for being with me. Check us out on the web, livecortex.com/blog. On the bottom of the website, on the footer, you can actually search for any nootropic compound you want. You'll find a list of blog posts that are our YouTube videos on any compound you want. Do that at livecortex.com. Like us on Facebook, please. Facebook.com/Cortex Stacks. 4 powerful products support this broadcast. Specials on them now. Here they are. Elite level nootropic products. Right, number 1, we have a nootropic stack, and we're running probably the biggest special we've ever run on the Cortex stack. First of all, Cortex stack, focus, motivation, verbal fluency, just the will to work, turns everything on, makes your brain super active, and you can just conquer things. If you want to know why I'm so verbally fluent all the time, it's because I take the Cortex stack. It does that for most folks. Special right now on the stack, normally 33 bucks. But if you want to try it, if you've never tried it before, perfect time to try it. If you have tried the stack, you understand how powerful it is. Right now, we've taken it down to 24 bucks a bottle. All you have to do is use the coupon code 24, just 24 at livecortex.com, and you can get a bottle of the Cortex stack for 24 bucks right now. If you need my help personally on anything related to nootropics, we have a consulting service. It's a 40-minute call with me. Buy that at livecortex.com. If you're new to nootropics, 2 options. You got Smarter, Better, Faster, which is a digital book that teaches you everything. If you're new, you have to start there. You got to read it, and at least 2 times. Or the Nootropics Starter Pack, which gets you a bottle of Cortex and Smarter, Better, Faster kind of in a package deal. You can do all that stuff at livecortex.com, and especially the Cortex stack for 24 bucks using the coupon code 24 right now. Okay, so question comes through often enough. How did you get into nootropics? How did you start? What was the process? Why did you get into nootropics? And I'm just going to give you the answer. I'm going to lay out the whole story. I think it's going to be super interesting for folks because everybody has their own reasons why they get into nootropics. Someone might have got a motorcycle accident or something and got some degree of cognitive dysfunction because of brain damage, and they're trying to repair some of that. Other people might have some debilitating health issue like chronic fatigue syndrome or other, and that is giving them brain fog, and they've got to have better brain performance, so they get into nootropics. For me, it was actually quite different. It starts in my time in the United States military. So I was a 19 Delta for the United States Army. It's essentially a combat MOS that is comparable to infantry, but a little more reconnaissance training goes on with scouts, 19 Delta Cav scouts. And so I went in the Army at 2005, went to boot camp, OSUT it's called. Got to Fort Hood, which was my duty station in 2005, and then deployed to Iraq in 2006 to 2008. I got out of Iraq, realized the Army really wasn't for me. I mean, look, what am I gonna do? Wear my body out for 20 more years to get a pension eventually? And go back to war a couple more times. It's so many close calls, I could be dead right now. So many times I just could have gotten whacked. And for me, the gamble wasn't worth it. So I got out. When I got out, I had a little bit of a rough time reintegrating into the civilian sector, not the occupational sector, but mostly it's just weird. How do you go from shooting machine guns at folks that are trying to blow you up to being in civilian, the civilian environment, kind of just hanging out here in America, with folks? It's just a weird transition. So one of the things that was this characteristic of PTSD is, related to war stuff is loud things startle you. You always think the worst case scenario about everything. You sort of you see things in your head. Some people have nightmares. So many different things. But for me, it was just this anxiety I couldn't get rid of, no matter how hard I tried. So I started to meditate because I read about how it might help in order to kind of curb this anxiety. It was kind of edgy all the time. I just felt not normal. And I took 2 weeks and meditated for 45 minutes a night for 2 weeks straight. And it totally changed my brain. I was feeling positive again. I had goals again. I guess I was kind of a dick coming out. That's just how I was coming out of that environment. And I started just being super nice to people. I felt good and rejuvenated. It was this whole crazy thing in my brain. So then that catalyzed a bunch of research. Well, why do I feel so different? some people have you believe meditating is just you're just like chanting some Buddhist chant or something, and it means nothing. But I knew like something was happening in my brain that seemed semi-permanent. As long as I kept doing it, actually kept benefiting me. So I went and read the research on it and went and read all the neuroscience behind. At the time, this was like 2000, God, this must have been 2008, late 2008, how meditation affects neurology around some of the things that I was experiencing, like anxiety, etc. And I found out a whole bunch of different things. Optimizes the prefrontal cortex, lowers your response, like modifies the regions of the brain that respond to stress in a way that you respond better. And a whole host of other things. That catalyzed, for me, the question became, I got into business after that. Like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, that's who I am. And after that, the question became, okay, so is there anything else that I can do that will give me more control over my brain? And then the second question was like that first question, but in the interest of doing better business. Being a better salesman, doing admin stuff easier, processing numbers easier, calculating risks, things of this nature, things that entrepreneurs have to think about. And somewhere along the line, I came across nootropics. I honestly don't even remember who I came across or who was talking about it. It was just like maybe longevity or something. So I was like, okay, I'm interested in this whole neuroscience thing. I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to be interested in and interested in the meditation part of it. So obviously this is a modification of neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters, I had learned, played a big role in everything, particularly anxiety. How do I modify them? If I can modify them with these nootropic things and it works, like that's a whole new thing. Maybe I can even create a business out of it, but at the very least, it'll help me in my life with another business. So the first couple compounds I ordered were paracetam alpha GPC and Alcar. And I took them in like 4 grams of paracetam. It was like 400 milligrams Alcar and 175 milligrams alpha GPC. And let me tell you, man, instantly I felt not the meditation-like benefit, but something greater. It was just something a lot more significant. My brain was firing on all cylinders. Like things were like awesome. Like I wanted to work. I wanted to sit down and do stuff. My ability to do things that I had previously had a lot of trouble doing was massively enhanced. And I'm not trying to like hype this. I literally had a real difficulty with reading comprehension. I'd read 2-3 pages of something. I'd be like, I don't even know what I just read. I forget where I'm at. I can't synthesize anything I just put together. So I don't know the bigger story. I just kind of gave up on reading. Starting to take nootropics, I actually could read again, comprehend all the information I was reading, and then remember it down the line. And then it became part of my memory kind of permanently. And I literally sat there and I'm like, I just figured out how to fully optimize my brain in a way that's like, if I told some Joe on the street about it, they'd be like, yeah, like you're full of shit. That's unbelievable. But to me, it was so significant that is what catalyzed this long journey of continued nootropic experimentation. Then I figured out that my performance in business was significantly better. Right? Everything that I did that engaged my brain, it was so much easier taking nootropics. So I started getting into racetams. I eventually started getting into modafinil. Then as the research chemicals came in, I started getting into them. You know, I had a 4-year stint with Noopept where I just ran through all kind of experiments and jotted them all down. That's the basis of a book we wrote. It's called the Noopept Pro Stack List. And that was essentially it. These days, I use nootropics, and I guess predominantly thereafter, I used nootropics to facilitate brain performance related to business matters. Mostly my capacity to be a salesman, my capacity to do heavy processing brain work that I just was never good at. Sometimes, like if I was having I had a gut issue at one time, like I would take nootropics to read through all the scientific papers on the particular like gut bacteria dynamic that was happening around my gut issue. And I consumed all the data, understood the information, was excited to engage in the experimentation, and like fixed health problems that my doctors were like, we don't know how to help you for. So, and then thereafter, it predominantly became, I still use nootropics in that regard. If there's something I could research and figure out, or something I gotta figure out, take some nootropics, get down to it, let my brain do its job. Other than that, and predominantly these days, it is for business productivity. You know, if I want to sit down and get 5-6 hours of work done, which I need to do every day. You know what I mean? Sometimes more hours I need to do the stuff that I have to do. Nootropics just optimize the brain energy that I have to do it, the memory and processing capacity that I need to do it, the verbal fluency necessary if I'm going to do sales calls or anything related to talking, and the motivation to do it, right? Talking about dopamine modulating nootropic compounds, uridine monophosphate, the cortex stack, L-dopa, L-tyrosine, phenylalanine, things of this nature, even theocrine and caffeine. So that is my story. That's why I got into nootropics, right? It was because I was anxious from being in the war, you know, and then meditation totally helped me, and I got into the neuroscience behind it and wanted to see what else was next. Then realizing these things could help me perform better in business, realizing I could be better at things that I was terrible at in school, like reading comprehension, and that things that I would learn taking nootropics, I would retain the information. My brain just worked a lot better. And thereafter, everything related to business, I don't know, it's hard to say, but I was 20 or 30% better than my baseline, my previous baseline, and that is huge. That's my story. That's why I got into nootropics, and now you guys know the gist of it. Now I'm 10 years, almost 11 years in. I love the hell out of them. I'm trying new ones kind of constantly, new combinations constantly. And, you know, now we have this big brand in business where we teach people all the stuff that I've learned over the years, and now we have thousands of other people that have run into one problem or the other, have heard our information, taken advice, done a consult with me, and now they're benefiting. Now they're more productive at work. Now they're recovering from some sort of damage that happened from an accident. Now they're more productive sort of generally. Now they feel better. They have better mood. They're more motivated. They're more verbally fluent. They're getting promotions because their sales ability is better, or they can talk to their boss better. Like all that stuff. That fascinates me, right? Human performance optimization. That's why I'm into nootropics. Thanks for watching. Hey, remember the Cortex stack, which is an awesome nootropic stack. You can buy right now for $24 using the coupon code 24 at livecortex.com. Isn't going to last much longer, but running it for a bit. Buy that at livecortex.com. If you need my help personally, we've got a consulting service on nootropics. I can help anybody there is about basically anything related to brain performance with nootropics. If you're new to nootropics, 2 options: Smarter, Better, Faster teaches you everything, digital downloadable book, or the Nootropics Starter Pack, which gets you Smarter, Better, Faster and a bottle of our stack, Cortex. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you next time. My name is Ryan Michael Ballo. For 6 years, my sole mission has been to improve the performance of my brain. This is why I created Cortex. My mission was to build a nootropic stack that gave me extreme focus, powerful motivation, and a heightened cognitive state. And after years of experimentation and a comprehensive beta testing protocol, and putting together the most powerful nootropic compounds on the planet, I found what I was looking for.